Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is the Football Brotherhood. We both got put through hell last night. My brother's a City fan, obviously, and I'm a United fan. I think I just about edged it. I do think that we're fully back. Dare I say it's a shout out to the Noisy Neighbours podcast that superseded this one. Christian, how are we doing, mate?
Yeah, all things considered, I'm okay. I got my hair cut, like you said just before we came on stream. That's the only thing sharp going on right now. Because our two teams were lacklustre last night. It was pathetic.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll hit United first, and then I'll have a pop at my boys. Alex, tell me your thoughts on what went on.
Yeah, no, you're right. We're going to do two videos. We're going to react to both games last night individually. So click this one, like it, comment, let me know what you think, how bad Man United were last night, and the bigger picture. And also go and click on the next one that we're going to do is the City one. But yes, like my brother said, this is the United one. This is the reaction. I predicted a loss. I thought the streak was going to come to an end. And I said to you, I watched it back. I watched my prediction back. My prediction was a 3-1 loss, and I'm okay with it, because it's a tough matchup. I didn't like the matchup. I said it to you. I think we've been having this conversation for 4 years with Newcastle and Man United, that they overrun us in midfield and they truck us. And I said the same thing will happen. I expected that 11 versus 11. When you are 11 versus 10, I expect to have an advantage. If Tonali is still bending them two over in midfield and giving it them, I've got a real problem. As good as Tonali is, by the way, and we'll touch on him because he's obvious. Some United fans were saying they didn't want him. I mean, if last night was an audition, he passed it and showed them two up. This is a big boys' league. Yeah. He was absolutely bitching both of them. I know CASEMIRO, you've got an asterisk coming to the end, but let's start with them two in midfield, MAINOO and CASEMIRO. We saw this under Ten Hag. It's not a good partnership. It weren't a good partnership 2 years ago. It isn't just miraculously got better. What I think happened, Christian, is a combination of two things. I think Amorim had these in shape physically. I think they were in the best physical condition of their careers, a lot of them. Yeah. Even MAINOO, who was not playing, because Amorim, there was no early finishes at training like Carrick's giving. There was no days off, and he was playing them all out of position. They probably had to do twice the amount of running. Now, what we seen? City, they were at it. We ran you off the pitch. I couldn't believe we watched it. We did the watch along in this room. Yeah. Arsenal, what have I said in the past about Arsenal's midfield? Rice, even Zubamendi, Odegaard. I'm a bit concerned about that. Their running power in their team. Trossard, Saka, even Gyökeres to a degree. What happened in that game? We held our own in midfield. We won the midfield battle against City and Arsenal. What's been happening? Carrick's little training sessions, by all accounts, that everyone loves them now. Oh, it's early finishes. It's days off, apparently. That fitness is coming down and down and down. West Ham was audition one. We have been absolutely flat since that West Ham game. Everton, we could barely run across the pitch. And this midfield is where it starts, Christian. Let's start with the pair of them, because I am not having it that they are this unfit, that they can't run against 10 men. Tonali doing the work of 3, they can't do the work of 2. It's unacceptable, man.
Alex, the second time this season as well.
Yeah. The first time these guys play midweek games, they can't do it. And everyone's going, let's just get third and get the Champions League. Well, what are we going to do next season? Is Kobbie Mainoo going to raise this floor athletically? Nobody's asking for Kante, bruv. But you've got to deliver physically, mate. Tonali, it's like me and my 5-year-old son in the garden.
Yeah, Alex, just a quick one on Mainoo. I mean, I really like this boy, and even under Amorim, and when Amorim wasn't selecting him, I was really one of the ones hammering that door. But look, I mean, there's got to be some conversations about this. You have been winning these games, but I noticed, I caught the end of the Crystal Palace game, and I saw Kobbie Mainoo. Bear in mind, they've been playing with 10 men for the majority of the game. Kobbie Mainoo with these scrappy 50-50s that he's coming out on the wrong side of, and I'm like, I don't like that. I really don't like that, and it just doesn't look good. I don't really understand what's happening with him, whether it's his fitness, whether he's just not strong enough. I don't know, but there's certainly a conversation needed, right?
Yeah, there is. This guy wants 200 grand a week, mate. Are you just playing it safe every single game? Because I've defended you because you're playing next to a grenade launcher in CASEMIRO, who we are going to come to in a minute. Cult hero CASEMIRO, he is not getting away with this. So you stick around for 2 minutes because he's getting it in a minute. Kobbie Mainoo has to improve. There's no doubt about it, mate. Yeah. What are you like? Are you my guy David? David Speaks Football. La Liga player, and I've clapped back at Dave. You're being harsh there. This guy's talented. I've seen it. Every game that ticks by, I've got a nagging. Ruben Amorim in the back of my head going, this guy can't play in the midfield too. And I watched it last night. He couldn't play in a midfield that was against 10 men, against Tonali on his own for some times in that game. And I'm looking at this and I'm going, I'm watching this and I'm thinking, fuck me. I've got these nagging. I've got David telling me that he's crap. He's a La Liga player. I've got Ruben Amorim who said he can't play in a two. And now I'm watching these games. The fitness is dropping already. 2 midweek games, West Ham and Newcastle. They've been atrocious, them two midfield. And Casemiro, let's come to him, right? He's turned it round. He's a cult hero. Casemiro is a defensive midfielder. Am I right there, Christian?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what is going on. Okay, you scored a header off a set piece. Well done, bruv. Right. Your job, you're the defensive midfielder for a team that is in the top 4 of the Premier League, right? Your job is to complete your passes and get it to the guys in front who can create and score. Your job is not to gate crash. You are not a Steven Gerrard. You are a defensive midfielder. You make your passes. Can I just talk about his pass completion, by the way? He is one of the worst in the league for defensive midfielders. Defensive midfielders, Sander Berge, 90%.
Really?
Rodri, 90%. Zubimendi, 88%. You go through the list. They're all 87, 88, 90, the good ones. Shout out Sander Berge. Casemiro. He's at 82. He is the floor for pass completion because he's playing like Fernandes. He's got a worse pass completion than Bruno Fernandes.
And bear in mind, we know what Bruno is. And to be fair,
we
to
live
Bruno,
with that.
Yeah, you live with it because they do come off. For every 3 that go wrong, one will go right. So let's
just stick with the pass completion here. I like my numbers. Anybody who watches this channel know I like my numbers. The last 4 games. Bear in mind, we've played against 2 teams there that have got red cards in the last 2. These are Casemiro's pass completion. This is a Casemiro who's a defensive midfielder. 78 against West Ham, shocking. 78 against Everton, shocking. 78 against 10-men Palace. He had 98 passes in that game. And last night, 76% pass completion against 10-men Newcastle from a defensive midfielder. That's the floor. That's the pits. And the thing is with Casemiro, I want to go into the specifics because last night I text you about the 55th minute. And I tell you what, if you flicked the game on at halftime and didn't know who had a man sent off, you'd have said United were down to 10 men. It was abysmal, that second half. So you know what I did today on my dinner hour? I thought, you know what? I'm going to watch that second half back before the subs. The subs came on the 60th. I'm going to watch the first 15 of that second half again because I need to fully grasp what was going on in that 15 minutes. Is Sandro Tonali that good? Is he Zidane on steroids? Or were them lot lazy and not at it? I just want to read out some timestamps here from the first 15 minutes of that half. Sticking with them two midfield. 45-10, 45-23, 46-35. Casemiro gave the ball away 3 times in a minute and a half from the start of the second half. And then a MAINOO bad one on the 49th, and then a Casemiro one on the 51st. In 6 minutes, our starting midfield 2 lost the ball 5 times against 10 men Newcastle. That set the stall for that second half. Newcastle deserved it. Tonali was man of the match in my opinion. And them two need to have a massive look at themselves. And to all you United fans that were going, we subbed Ugarte on and lost. Casemiro last night in that second half was they were playing with 10, we were playing with 9 with them two midfield. They were abysmal. If you're blaming Ugarte, you're a lazy fan, man, because Ugarte had nothing to do with that loss. It was all on them two, and they could have been hooked at half time. Forget the goal, they were shite. 76% pass completion, Christian.
Alex, if you're looking at 76% pass completion, I don't understand how that's possible when you're looking at the dynamic of that game. You are playing against 10 men for a huge portion of that match. Therefore, their pressure, we were always expecting, like we were talking about, that they could overrun you. Not with 10 versus 11. He wouldn't have as much pressure coming on him. That tells me he's trying Hollywood balls. That is not even your job.
Yeah.
I mean, you tell me, bro, because I was watching my boys disappoint me at the other end. You tell me what he was actually up to.
The first 23 seconds of the second half, Casemiro lost the ball twice. The first one, him and MAINOO get themselves in a mess on a ball that bounces.
Are you talking, has he been trying a spectacular, or is he just making
one of them was just a hoof. The last one, the 51st minute, Casemiro just dobs it straight to Dan Burn. The other ones, he tried a forward pass. He lost it twice in our own. They're all in our own half, by the way. I should have added that. MAINOO, Cunha, right, free kick, Newcastle, lump it forward, Maguire heads it, I think. Cunha nods it down to MAINOO on the left-hand side. MAINOO brings it down. Dobbs, an awful 10-yard pass ahead of Cunha. And we lose the ball again. The ball, I can't tell you how bad them two were last. Christian, just before you go, 58th minute, my last one here on the timestamps. Anybody's got as much time or as sad as me, go and have a look at that second half. Because I tell you what, if you think Ugarte coming on in the 60th minute, he should have come on 10 minutes ago. 69% possession in the 58th minute of this game in the second half. That's a 13-minute chunk of this game with 10 men Newcastle. We had 31% of the ball, and them two in centre mid are the biggest culprits, particularly CASEMIRO. Cult hero CASEMIRO.
I think this is the thing, Alex. Look, CASEMIRO kind of is where he's at in his career, and I did say this when United were in good form. I was like, you're going to have these games where it's going to go good, but we sort of know where he's at. There is no excuse, however, for the things you're telling me here. You watched this more than I did. What I'd be more concerned at, though, Alex, you have hammered CASEMIRO, which is fair enough. MAINOO and them two playing in a two. MAINOO should be able to comfortably do this. Like, CASEMIRO, that is a separate conversation. I would be seriously worried with MAINOO that he isn't capable of playing next to him. Because if you look at our situation, and I hammer Manchester City at the moment, I say we try and play too offensively. We were used to playing Rodri with, say, a Gundogan, De Bruyne, even going as far back as David Silva and De Bruyne. We've always used two offensive players next to him. He was kind of left to just sort everything, which he was capable of doing. Now he's not, and we're seeing the results of that. MAINOO has got a CDM next to him, and he's getting overrun. So I am concerned at that. And then it's like, well, what are we saying MAINOO is then? It's interesting what you said about a La Liga player. Is he good when he's not being pressured, not being overrun in terms of physicality and athletic beast in England? I think it could be a fair point.
Put it this way: if he is starting in this team with Bruno, I don't believe MAINOO and Bruno can play together.
No, I'm coming to that.
And before people come for me and go, Bruno's reckless, Bruno is our whole offence. And Mbeumo can't control the thing.
Without him, nothing happens.
Brian Mbeumo ain't controlled the ball for four games now. Cunha was better last night, but he's wayward. The end product, his shooting's going over he's over-hitting crosses. Bruno's our consistency. People think Bruno had a bad game last night. Bruno got an assist. Okay, he gave the pen away. Stupid moment by Bruno. He gets an assist for the goal right on half-time, which should have really been the spark plug for a win in the second half. He puts one on a plate for Lenny Yoro. You've probably not seen it. 6-yard header. Yoro missed. And he played Mbeumo in, one-on-one in the 6-yard box, and then Mbeumo turned back for some ridiculous reason. So he should have had 3 assists last night, Bruno. And I'm talking gimmies. And Mbeumo and Yoro should have bagged. I'm not saying United should have won. I'm glad we lost, because we need to pay for our crimes in the last month of luck and good fortune. This was coming last night. And
Alex,
it couldn't have really gone any more blatantly than a loss to a 10-man team, but this has been coming.
Yeah, Alex, look, it's been hard as coming on here and recording, isn't it? Because I totally get, I was never going to come on and hammer Manchester United when it's been as bad as it has been, and you've actually been getting wins over the line, so fair enough, you know, you've been doing it. But the way you've been winning these games, it seems a bit like we're glossing over things. You know what I mean? Like when we went through it last night, bro, and we were talking about the red card thing. How many games have you been against 10 men of recent times? Yeah, Crystal Palace, Tottenham, and then last night. And let's be honest, you've made hard work of all of them, really. I mean, it's not been plain sailing. The Palace one and the West Ham, I thought were really poor. I mean, the first half of that Palace game, United did not come out of first game. They looked like they didn't come out of the dressing room. Everton's another one. Everton, you look like
we're talking the pits
here. Couple of good moments bailed you. I think this has been coming. I really do, and I think Carrick has sort of been peddling his luck and getting these wins over 100%. The line. The way you've been playing over a period of 90 minutes hasn't been impressing me. It makes for easy stats, doesn't it? Like when people go on Instagram and they see the Fabrizio Romano post, Carrick's turning United round, this many wins in a row, this many wins out of 8. But when you actually look at the games and how they've been going, no Man United fan is looking at that. Well, none with any brains and going, this is the new Man United. Well, it ain't very good then.
No, it's not. I mean, I obviously came away from that West Ham game, and I know a lot of people close to me. Some of my very good friends, Patrick, cousin. Take a breath. We've won 4 out of 5. We drew. Great, resilient equaliser in the last minute from Benjamin Sesko. The reason I was so scathing after that West Ham game, I knew the balloon had popped. I know I've come on here with you and gone, if you look at my predictions each week, it's gone, going to be difficult this, going to be difficult this. And then it was a loss against Newcastle, and I got that bang on last night, and so did you, to be fair to you. But the point is, 10 men, you mentioned 10 men. 10 men Newcastle, 10 men Palace, 10 men Tottenham. Look, how many goals have we scored in those 3 games? Okay, we got 1 last night, set piece. We got 2 against Palace, 1 was a pen. We got 2 against Tottenham, 1 was a corner. We've scored 2 open play goals against 3 opponents with 10 men. This is abysmal. And by the way, we lost to Everton early in the season against 10 men. Has a team ever lost to 2 teams down to 10 men at 0-0 in the same season? I honestly reckon that's... I swear to God, someone hit me up in the comments, is that a Prem record? Because I am absolutely floored if a team has lost to 2 teams. And here it is, the big bad 3-4-3 weren't there last night, was it, Christian? So where's the excuses? Exactly. These players need to look in the mirror, man. Absolute. I'm so
Not only that,
fuming.
Alex, when we're talking about these games and you've been playing against 10 men, even if you've been getting the results, you're talking about the way you're playing these games. You've not had a lot of control, apart from the Tottenham one. I'd give you that, even though there were moments in transition in that one. But that was the only one I'd really give you where you had concrete control. I thought Palace, when they were attacking and United had kind of left it open, I thought they could get one here. And it hasn't felt right. It has not felt right since West Ham. And I don't feel like United have bounced back from that performance. You got out of jail with a spectacular finish, and the rot has sort of set in. I know it's mad to say that because of what you've been through, and you are getting results over the line. But it was the most Look, we both predicted a loss. I was surprised you went with that, Alex, because I thought, look, United fan, come in with a little bit of chest right now. I don't actually mind it. You've got a good record. But I think we could all see it. The facts, I went with the correct result, by the way. I said 2-1, you went 3-1. I think we could all see it. If a City and United fan are going, no chance, against 13th place, remember, 13th place Newcastle, who have not exactly been lighting it up of late, but we both predicted a loss. That tells you where the problems are. It has been coming.
What's the definition of insanity? Just continue doing the same thing. I ain't saying Michael Carrick's got the 2011 Barca squad here, but at what point are you just going to run them 3 in midfield back and just keep expecting a different result? You're edging closer and closer to a loss. And then you look at Joe Linton, Tonali, Joe Willock / Ramsey when he was on the pitch. And you look at that midfield 3 and think, how are we going to physically win this game? Could somebody come who predicted a win? I know my guy David, I think he got a little bit emotional with the 4-1 win. Thought we were going to smash him. Fair play, I've been there, mate. I think Dan, my guy as well, Dan Speaks United, he had it down as a draw. Can anybody who thinks United were going to win that game tell me how they were going to win it? Because I couldn't physically go there. I said to you, that midfield 3 will run us off the pitch. The midfield 2 ran us. The midfield, Tonali single-handedly obliterated us last night. So either, like I said, Christian, I'll go back to my first thing I said, if either Sandro Tonali is one of the best midfielders in the world, I think he's a very good player, or that midfield's wank. And I think it's probably somewhere in between the two of them things. Can we talk about Carrick before we wrap up?
Yeah, I just wanted to move on to Michael Carrick. What's your thoughts on a lot of the decisions of late, the selections? What are your feelings?
So he's not blessed. He's not blessed with an amazing squad here. And if he'd have played Ugarte last night, and we would have lost, he would have come in for major criticism. Why have you done that? So I get it, right?
He's in a lose-lose,
He is. He's in a lose-lose. He knows that probably the 2 that he's sending out there have got no legs, and Tonali's going to bitch him, and he also knows if he starts Ugarte, we'll probably lose anyway. I have sympathy. However, Tyrell Malacia, I'm sorry, where did he get dug up from? Because he comes on, and some random Danish striker who I've barely seen this season cuts in from the touchline like Arjen Robben and pings it in the bottom corner, and Tyrell Malacia is running in the opposite direction. Where's he come from? Where's Tyrell Malacia come from? Have we nobody else that we can bring on? Is there nobody else in this fabled...
I didn't know he still played for United.
Man United Academy? Put Aiden Heaven there with his athleticism. He'd have ate that Osulu up last night. You've got Maguire and you've got Malacia, and they're facing the wrong direction. What are you doing?
He full 360 spun.
I'm sorry, I'm not having it. Oh, knee surgery.
Was like a steward.
What knee surgery has? Have they took his knees off? That defended from Malacia. Look, how we got 19 minutes into the episode, not mentioned him. I mean, that just shows how bad that midfield was. But Christian, forget Malacia. He's wank. I don't know what happened there. Carrick's had a brain fart. Let's just go with the attack before we wrap up here, because we've got to do City. You're ready to erupt, and obviously I need to probably check my blood pressure after this episode. The attack, right, okay, let's come to it. The Galactico attack that we're now fucking all of a sudden playing. We've scored 4 goals in 4 games, right? And open play, 1 was a pen. 4 goals in 4 games against West Ham, Everton, Palace, Newcastle, 3 bottom half teams, and Everton were bottom half at one point. So, give or take, 4 crap teams this season. We
Yeah.
scored 4 goals in 4 games. Benjamin Sesko's been good for 3 of them, open play. The other 2 is a free kick that Casemiro headed in last night and a pen. All right, right. I said to you, Christian, that of all the people, I think Michael Carrick has got a great brain. I've watched the guy play football for 10, 12 years, dating back from his Spurs and West Ham days. I thought he was a class player then.
Yeah.
And then obviously comes to United, and I thought he was one of the best defensive midfielders in the world. I thought how England never used him, I have no idea. Maybe a bit before his time. He's got a great brain, Carrick. He never had to sprint because he read the game that well. How he has gone from Ahmad and dropping Ahmad from a team that could knock it about against City and Arsenal with Diallo and MAINOO. Okay, Martinez is unfortunate. You can't do anything about that. We don't have a replacement for Martinez. Yoro Maguire, a dross on the ball. But if you factor Martinez in here, right, you lose Martinez to injury. Now I've got MAINOO and Ahmad who value keeping the ball. The rest of them treat it like a grenade.
Yeah.
Where has this dropping Ahmad come from? And I know people are going to go, well, you love him, he's behind my shoulder here. And I know Ahmad was poor at West Ham. Ahmad was poor at Everton. He deserved to be dropped on principle. Ahmad brings something the others don't. It's not about putting the 4 best names on a team sheet. It's about how they click, how they mesh. And this is the thing where it's very Ollie to me. It's very Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, where he just rolls out Greenwood, Ronaldo and Rashford and thinks that's going to work. It's not FIFA. It's not the PlayStation. You have to have a blend of forwards. Amad Diallo, is he good enough? No, I don't think Amad is, right? I'm happy to say that. And I know he's over my shoulder here. It's just because I've no other top to put up, right? I do like him as a footballer. I think he's okay. I think he's an okay right winger. What does Amad bring? He brings calmness. He values keeping the ball, putting his foot on the ball, laying it off, triangles. What do the other 4 do? Because Bruno doesn't value that, and we live with that because Bruno's one of the best creators, if not the best creator in the Prem. We've got Cunha and Mbumo, they're goal scorers. They want to score goals. And then you've got Benjamin Sesko who needs service. Michael Carrick, you've got a great brain, mate. I know you have. I've watched you play football. You're not an emotional guy. You've got to get Diallo back in this team right now if you want to keep the ball and stop this being a basketball game. This amazing attack has played 10 men twice and just scored 1 goal in open play, which is that Sesko header. Casemiro header last night for free kick and a Bruno pen. This attack on paper might be great on the PlayStation. It's not great in real life. Diallo has to play. What is your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I do agree with you. I mean, it's interesting talking about Carrick because I know you went on with the lads, David and Dan, and you did a little bit on their channel talking about Carrick and maybe his future and taking over. And I know you were all kind of coy, and I was jibbing in with a few comments. And it does feel, even at the time when it was going well, I always sort of had that notion of just be careful because United have been down this road. Michael Carrick is what he is. I think he deserves a little bit of credit. He came in and he won 2 really difficult games at a unbelievably difficult time for Manchester United. You had Manchester City and you had Arsenal. Were they back to back? Pretty much back to back. Yeah, back to back. And he went and won both, and won them both in good fashion. I mean, he absolutely hammered us. I think what we're seeing now, Alex, is we're seeing more of this amateur coaching style, and that's leaking through. And I think United fans have got to be careful. Don't be looking too much at Instagram of so many wins in so many games. Look a bit deeper with your eyes. Watch the games, watch the decisions, watch the in-game decisions, look at the tactics. This is a guy that managed in the Championship and got sacked. Right? Manchester United, self-proclaimed by all their supporters, which is right, say they're one of the biggest clubs in the world. Some say they're the biggest club, right? Now, would you, if you're the biggest club in the world, go and get a manager that looks a bit amateurish, has been sacked at Championship level, is not proven to be some sort of tactical genius? Now, the answer to that is no. So if you're telling me no to that and you're saying I'd roll it with Carrick, that's where you lose me.
Yeah, I totally echo your thoughts here. Just to wrap up on Carrick here with I think you made some good points there. Manchester United are one of, if not the biggest club on planet Earth. And we have appointed post Jose Mourinho, who you would say is very experienced and we thought was at the top level. It turned out he was past his best at the time, which is fine. You make mistakes. I thought Jose was the right guy. So post Jose Mourinho, we've gone for the ex-Molde manager. We then got in a interim in Ralf Rangnick, who's the ex-Leipzig, amongst other mid-table teams, manager. We then got in the ex-Ajax coach in Ten Hag. Okay, a little bit of experience in the Champions League. One deep run with a unique side. We then got in the Sporting Lisbon coach, and you are now telling me we're going to add the ex-Middlesbrough coach to that list. I totally agree with you. We have to be fucking batshit crazy. Carrick deserves credit. He's given me some enjoyment. I've looked forward to Manchester United games in the last 2 months, albeit I did expect a loss last night, and boy was I right. But at the same time, I've still had that hope that they did dangle the carrot of playing well in those 2 games. But I do think he's at fault for so many things now. I think the role in this front 4 out ain't going to work. It'll never work in a month of Sundays. It won't. I'm not saying Diallo is the answer.
No, I completely get where you're coming from. I think
Christian. Let me just flip it to you. Is Nico O'Reilly better than Tijani Reinders on paper on FIFA? If you were playing PlayStation, would you play Nico O'Reilly? The answer is no. I think O'Reilly's been exceptional, by the way, and I think he might get there. But right now, as a number 8, 6 hybrid, is Tijani Reinders better? The answer is yes. Why does Nico O'Reilly play? Because he's better for the team.
Yeah. So I hear you, mate. And that is the difference. That's the difference, Alex, between being a coach that understands his side and has been coaching for a long time. Look, I am not hammering Michael Carrick here. It might seem harsh what I've just said. But people might not like it. I am just saying facts. He isn't at that level. No. Manchester United fans will all say, we've got ambition to go and win the Premier League. Right, okay, well, then act like it.
Also, Christian, you know this as well as I do.
It's accepting mediocrity, bro. It's accepting less than mediocrity.
Look at the league leaders here. Look, obviously you're a City fan. You're hoping your team can bounce back. Right now, there's a championship window. If City come back in a year's time and they get 95 points, fuck it, I don't care. Brilliant, well done, City. Right now, there could be a championship window. And we have some good pieces, particularly the lads we signed last summer. All of a sudden, we've got a goalkeeper that's good. We've got an attack that scores goals. We've still got Bruno. We've still got other players that we quite like. Now, are you just going to bin it on a prayer that Michael Carrick might just be the guy? I mean, it's batshit crazy after what we've been through. If it was 6 years ago after Jose and it was a bit of good vibes, Ollie got that because I was on board with Ollie because I was so depressed under Jose. Right now, we've gone in. I've just listed mate, the fuck are we doing? Right, last thing.
You look, Alex, just on that as well, before you go on to your last point, you look at these managers and where they've gone after Manchester United. Now, managing Manchester United is a great thing to have on their CV. No one's touched them after it, Alex. You're talking West Brom haven't gone near these kind of guys. No disrespect, West Brom, by the way. But I'm just talking, these guys have pretty much been retired out of football. Eric Ten Hag had about 4 weeks. Was it at Leverkusen? They'd seen enough. They were like, that's it. He's never getting another managerial job. Ruben Amorim, I mean, I think that'll be a Ten Hag part 2. I think someone will gamble on him, someone like a Leverkusen. It'll be a very similar story. He's barely going to get another job in football. These are Manchester United coaches.
Last thing on Carrick and then we'll wrap up. We've got to do City. The worry for me is Michael Carrick was an all-time great defensive midfielder and the midfield's terrible. And if you're telling me it's all on the personnel, we'll find some solutions then. Christian, to your point, right? This is the experience of a championship coach. I accept MAINOO and CASEMIRO giving the ball away. You cannot pin that on the coach. Find me a solution then. They've been doing it for a month, Christian. Find me something. Try something. When Lisandro's back, try him in centre mid. He did well at Villa, Christian. Do something different. Just running it back. They were going to get bent over by a barrel last night.
Alex, I've got one question for you, right? So what will you say? Obviously, we've been doing this quite a while. I can sort of foresee the comments will be, do you not think you're being a little bit emotional over this? And this is coming from United fans, because I know you're going to get these comments, especially if you post on TikTok. They're going to go, you're being emotional, you're being overly emotional. What would you say to those fans now?
Because, I am emotional because we've just fucking lost the 10 men and we've played shit for a month. So, what are you telling me? The thing is, I'm looking at this and I'm going, is this downturn in stamina and fitness down to Carrick? Because Amorim had these boys doing twice the work. You can say, love him or hate him. Most people hate him, fair enough. He was terrible. He had him in the wrong system. But I'm looking at a sluggish squad now. We look leggy. I watched that, just going back to my first bit that he said on the second half. I watched the quarter of an hour dinner, the second half of my dinner hour today. And I made those timestamps of Casemiro and MAINOO. Do you know what else I noticed, Christian? In those 15 minutes after the break, we just got an equaliser against 10 men. They were rocked. They were probably rock bottom in that dressing room. We came out. They weren't sprinting. None of them were sprinting. Jogging. MAINOO jogging. Bruno jogging. Sesko jogging. This team, that first 15 minutes of that second half, anybody thinks I'm talking shit, you need to go and watch that, because I tell you what, Michael Carrick needs to have that 15 minutes on loop today at Carrington, and he needs to be pausing it every 10 seconds going, why are you walking slower than Tonali? Because he's doing the work of 3. Disgraceful last night, and I don't think Carrick's the guy. And my gut instinct said shake hands in the summer, get us Champions League, get someone else in. It isn't going to change. I just was going to say Carrick's an all-time great midfielder who, in my opinion, the midfield's shit. Big red flag. And also, he played in a Fergie team who valued players like Fletcher, like Park Ji-sung. Idiots like me, 18, 17-year-old me, was probably going, why are we playing Park? Why are we playing Fletcher? But the great man knew what he was doing. Sir
He knew
Alex,
what the team needed.
He knew that Park Ji-sung played in games. Was Park Ji-sung the best winger at Man United? Nani was 10 times the player. Why did Park play in big games? Why did Darren Fletcher play in big games? Why did Hargreaves play in the Champions League final? Because these guys are important cogs. They mesh, they gel the team together.
Because it's not FIFA.
Carrick is picking a team that's good on FIFA. This is not FIFA. This is real life. And if you think this front four is going to be good, mate, you're absolutely smoking crack. Christian, I need to calm down. We need to do City before I'm going out tonight. Thank you for joining me, my friend.
Baby.
That's your turn. Tune into the next one. Thank you all for listening. I appreciate you all.